millionaires, and that's our goal. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Jada. Jada has an awesome guest for us today, and I'm super excited.
Yeah, hello all. So I have the pleasure of introducing, and I'm trying to this as I'm doing it, but introducing Daniel. So him and I met through one of Tim Mai's Zooms, and that was, I don't know, like 3 months ago, I think. And I know that at the time we had met, and he was saying he's been in construction for years, and not only that, I don't know how many units it was, but he had a multifamily in Pennsylvania that he was working on. So that was just super interesting. And now it's good to hear that it closed and that he's been going full force into it. And yeah, so he's been just a very interesting person to talk to. He's always sent me resources that he thought would be great. So I just wanted him to bring, or I wanted to bring him on and kind of have you all have the chance to connect with him as well. So without further ado, tell us more about yourself, please.
Jada, thanks for having me on. Joseph, great to be here. So really appreciate the opportunity and really look forward to the conversation and moving forward in the future. So my name is Dan Belargid. I have been in the construction industry since, I feel like it's forever. Growing up swinging hammers and working on building things, whichever it was. But professionally, I've been doing it for about 20, 25 years now. Started out basically from the bottom as a site super and worked my way up through management, got myself into estimating as well as part of the job. So that's what I do right now. I'm a senior estimator for the company I work for. But real estate has always been something that's always interested me. It's like, seeing what you can, building it constantly, it's always something that you want to see from the other side. So that's what really got me into being part of the real estate investing space that I've been in for a few years now. Just closed on 120 units. Like you were saying, it's 120 unit Class A property out in Pennsylvania. We have it as a mixed business plan because it was mainly student housing, but it is a growing community and they don't have enough, as like a lot of areas, they don't have enough um, don't have enough rentals. So we're going mixed use where we actually have uh, standard rental as well as the student housing as well. So it's been a good fit for us and the team that I'm on, and it's a great team. So that's where I'm at on getting into the multifamily. Um, it's been a great journey so far. And like Joseph said, I started out where you have to, basically pay to play and get in. Finding mentorship is difficult. So I'm real happy that you guys are taking that one step further and showing people that they can do it without money. And that's kind of the short side of my multifamily as far as what I'm into right now. As far as what I like is in multifamily is the class A minus B properties that I like to go for. The 50 to 150 ranges, the number of units I like to see is moreover what I like to get myself into. They're a little bit easier to manage. Um, but I always like a good challenge too. So I always keep out for a class C property that definitely can use my expertise in the construction area and how we can really bring the value up for people that are going to live there.
Man, I love it, man. There's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot to unpack there. So let's dial it back. Let's start kind of from your beginning journey, right? So we all kind of heard you started off in the construction space, as a lot of people do, believe it or not. A lot of people come from the construction space. I mean, let's look at Pace for a second, right? He was doing all construction, general contractor, and now he's doing massive, massive things just in real estate in general. So a lot of people come from that background. But what was it for you specifically? Like, was there a defining moment or some situation that happened where it's like, look, I don't want to do this full time. I want to be more involved with the multifamily. I want to go buy an apartment building. You know, what was the thought process behind that, or how did that come to be?
It really came about when I was finding that times are changing where I've always been entrepreneurial. So I've been always helping out and moving, staying where I'm needed until I feel like I can't do any more good in the position and then move on. And that's gotten me really, really far, but I need to grow. I need to go farther. Still continuing to learn and improve upon myself, but that was the defining moment is that I know I can do more as a real estate investor because I've always been someone that helps people grow and get things to a foundational point where they can have success in their passion, but they can also have a second flow of income that a lot of people need these days. So helping people get that second flow where I can, with my experience, run the properties, and then someone else can, as a lot of people will call it, mailbox money. So just, send them their payments from their investment, and they can just really help them out that way. So that's where it got really connected with me, that I can help more people um, get a further ahead in life than what they think they could originally.
I love that. I love that. And I like that you said that, right? Because one of the biggest roadblocks or issues or objections that I get from people when it comes to raising capital is they feel guilty or bad for asking for money from other people. But it's not really, that's not the situation, right? You're not asking them for money. You're presenting them with an opportunity where they can make more money, right? And it's about creating those opportunities, not just doing it one-sided, right? You know, that at least you should know that the offering that you're providing to other people is going to be beneficial for them. And if it's not the right solution for them, then you have to be okay with saying, hey, I don't think this is the right one for you. Let me come back to you with another opportunity that I'll have for you in the future, or something like that. So I like that you said that, right? It's about helping other people produce income, like the passive income, the mailbox money they mentioned. It's about helping them achieve that, not going out and, hey, I need money so I can go and do this. So I thought I should, pinpoint that right there. I really like that you said that. I saw you on mute, Jada. You have something?
Oh, no, I just wanted to mention kind of what you said as well. Like that's something that has reoccurred a couple times with you just describing what you do. So yeah, I could tell that you're very help oriented, which I super appreciate.
Yeah. For the people.
Exactly.
So let's take it one step further, right? So now we understand the mindset and why you did it. What were some of those actionable items that you took to learn or to just start getting involved? Like, how did you make that transition? Like, what are the actual steps that you took to do that? Because a lot of the audience here and for our community, a lot of them are newer investors or just looking to get in the space or looking to grow their portfolio as a multifamily investor.
Well, the biggest thing is to network. Is going to be network. It's honestly something that I lacked in the beginning, and even to this day, I still feel like I'm not doing enough networking. Um, you can't help anybody if they don't know who you are. So, depending on who as far as the gurus that are out there, they all have a great message, but they're in a different place than what a starting out investor or a newer operator that's in the space actually is. And some of them, I think, have actually lost some of the help that they want to do. So they're looking, some of them are looking much more for a paycheck. So it's, network with people, get on Zooms like this, find groups, whether it's in your local RIA, which is one of the places I started. Um, Also, go to boot camps. You don't have to sign up for a mentorship to go to a boot camp. There's enough of them out there. Go to them. They're great for networking. I've met more people at there that, I can do business with or help, investors, even, and it's not necessarily looking to just get that person to invest with you, because not everybody's going to fit with me. And everybody has to understand that you're not necessarily going to fit with everybody you meet. And that's okay.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. It kind of goes back to what I was saying is like some opportunities just won't be the right fit, whether it's, somebody that's on the deal that they just don't, mesh with or vibe with, whatever, whether it's morals or past experiences, or maybe it's the deal specifically, maybe it's an A-class property and they want, better return. So maybe they're focused more on the C classes. So it's really truly about understanding the people around you and the network around you. So I actually have had very, very similar experiences. And what I found, and you let me know if you agree with this, that the paid classes are always going to be better. The paid boot camps, the paid mentorships, whatever it is, because the people that are going to these have committed. They've made a financial commitment, even if it's not a lot, like maybe like 100, $500, whatever. Like it doesn't have to be thousands and thousands of dollars. I'm just talking about the stuff, the paid stuff versus the free stuff. The paid stuff, it's has its own filtration process, right? The filtration process is the people who just want the free stuff and they just want to consume but not take any action, versus the people that are paying for these courses, even if it's 100, 200, 300 bucks, whatever it is. They're paying for it. They're committed. They're putting a financial amount towards their commitment level. Like, would you agree that you find better quality people in those types of groups?
Oh, definitely. People that are willing to put forth money out of their own pocket to improve themselves. And that's really what I look at it as. So if you are going down to that event and you're paying for it, you're literally paying money to pay attention. Um, if you don't, a lot of people, like you said, they're just there to get the information. And then what do they do with it? They sit on it. They get, as it said, for a lot of different things, is analysis paralysis. They're just consummate learners. All they want to do is learn. They want to just find the information, but they never act on it. So someone that just gets all that free stuff, that's all they're doing, is they're not going to act. But the ones that do come down, that you can meet, that have paid, and it doesn't have to be much. I like, honestly, some of the smaller events are better events. I just actually got back from a event, and it was that and if you can afford to get a front row ticket, afford it, take it. You will not, if the event is right, you will not regret that, getting that ticket. And this event I went to, I got a front row seat, and I don't regret it one bit. Um, and it was an amazing event where I have probably 10 new connections that over the next 10 years will reap reap loads of contacts and people that through each individual network, because it wasn't just for real estate.
Mhm.
So it really helped out. Some people were contractors, others were in IT, others were consultants, and it was an amazing group to be with.
And I love that. Go ahead, Jada. I see you.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask, you had invited, or you had mentioned that there was like a 10X conference out in Dubai. Is that the one that you're talking about, or how is that one? 'Cause I had
Yeah,
no idea that
that
they
is the one.
that's amazing.
Yes. It uh they are Cardone licensees. So they are licensed to promote Grant's content through their business, and they teach it differently than what Grant will. So I've been in their accountability and mentoring program for about a year now. And it's helped my self-improvement greatly. Alex and Miriam are just so authentic when it comes to giving information and being there. It was great. The time difference was a little weird. Still talking to people back here. It's an 8-hour time difference, but the experiences over there in Dubai were just amazing. Um, the people that were there, just top notch. I would recommend to anybody if they ever get a chance to go just on a vacation level. It's just an amazing experience. But the conference was called their Super Life Conference. It's about it's for improving on yourself and improving your life. And that's where, you have to improve you first before you can really help and understand to help someone else. So
Mhm.
constant improvement is one of the things that I will do, and I will invest. Let's see, I've I probably have a couple $100,000 invested between all of the conferences and self-improvement that I've done over the years. And that's just within about 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Nice.
impressive. I like how you said you need to help yourself before you help others, right? It's the same thing with the airplane, right? You want to make sure you put your mask on before you do it for others. It's the same concept. Like if you're not taking care of the stuff in house, you're not going to be able to be a light in somebody else's path. You're going to be, darkness or poison, right? Because you're going to be bringing them down or doing whatever it is to not lift them up. So you have to be at the highest potential for yourself. So I really like that. And surprise, surprise, guys, Daniel doesn't know this, but he's agreed to, get tickets for everybody for the next Dubai trip. So thanks, Daniel. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well,
Uh,
they actually announced their next event in Dubai is next November.
wow.
So I will send you guys the info. I didn't have it. I will get it. So if anybody is interested, reach out. We can get you connected.
Yeah,
It's another great time.
man, you should get an affiliate code.
I
Yeah.
actually have one.
Oh,
Oh,
great.
there you go. Perfect, perfect. I didn't even know. That's awesome. Well, let's dial back just a second. Let's recenter around the topic of discussion. So we talked about your mindset shift and what it took to kind of get there. And then we talked a little bit about some of those steps you took, which was the networking and going out to events, putting yourself in the right rooms, which for people that have been watching for a while, this is not new stuff, right? This is the same stuff we're all talking about. I mean, if it hasn't clicked yet, it should click now, right? Every single one of us that is in multifamily is saying the same thing. It's about the network. It's 100% a relationships business. It's not what you know, it's who you know. So if that point hasn't been hammered yet with these hundreds of Zoom calls that we've done, then you should really, really, look into yourself. I really think that's honestly, like the biggest piece of advice. So let's take it one step further. Let's talk about the deal that you closed. You said August, right? Is when it closed. Let's
Yeah.
let's talk about that one. How did you guys find that deal? What did it look like taking it down? What did you guys do? Let's talk deal specifics, as specific as you want to get. I know some stuff is, confidential to some degree, so only what you can
Mhm.
share with us.
Oh, I was actually brought into that deal
Amazing.
through one of the networks I will say I got very lucky on the project. I was actually kept into the project because of my construction knowledge,
Nice.
because of the property. Even though it was built in 2009, you're still going to have maintenance. There's still going to be things that are going to be necessary. So through one of my networks, it was posted they were looking for people to help out, and I contacted the KPs that were sponsoring the deal, and I was able to really help them out. They were actually looking for some financial help, and I was able to at least I had given them people for them to talk to. And then through other conversations, we just hit it off and went and toured the property. There was another person that was on the team that I had a previous relationship with. that kept me really wanting to be on this project, let alone it's only 3 hours from my house. So it's literally right in my backyard. So why wouldn't I not want to be a part of something like that?
Mhm.
We did have, as a lot of things happen, you know, ups and downs. We had some back and forth with the current owner on some of the negotiations. Things were running tight. We actually had to switch lenders last minute.
Oh
So
man.
we had a lender. Yeah, the original lender actually backed out. So our plan B lender was able to step in, and we had everything ready, and we had them on board within less than 2 weeks. So
Wow.
it's really making sure you have the right team involved. Um, and this is where not everybody meshes. You have to know and do your due diligence with everybody. Um, because if you don't, that's where problems lie. And you got to get to know someone. It truly is, like we were talking earlier, the relationships, finding the right people to connect with. You can still do business with someone if you don't really mesh with them, but I wouldn't necessarily get on a partnership team with them. As it was put to me, you kind of need to date them first before you get into a marriage. So it's the same way with partnerships in real estate. Get to know them first before you jump in and into a deal with them. Which is, like I said, I had a previous relationship with one of the members that were already on the team, and that's why I stayed with it. Otherwise, I may not have stayed, and it's proven to be very beneficial on everybody's end. Um, Now that we've closed, everything is running. We've actually changed property managers, and it was going to definitely need be a necessary thing. Um, the management was good, but the ownership of the management company was also the previous owner.
Ah,
Yeah, it makes it real interesting. And right now, when we took the property over, we were at a 70% occupancy, and right now we're over 85, and we're already working at our year one projections.
nice.
So we didn't even make year one, and we're already at year one projection. So
That's
this is going
awesome.
to be a very beneficial project, and um, we're looking at a 2x multiple. So I think we're gonna, not that we're gonna, knock on wood, um, but it's going to be a good project in the end.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, super happy for you. I love celebrating wins. So that's a huge win for sure, especially that you guys are already achieving your year one projections and it hasn't even been a full year yet. So that's awesome. That's awesome, man. So let's go back to what you said. You kind of glossed over it, but that was a big thing that you said. Your lender backed out on you, and the second lender came through in 2 weeks. Like for anybody that's done a deal with a commercial loan, that is not the norm. That like the minimum time
No,
I would allot for that is like 6 weeks at least. And
Oh,
they came back in 2 weeks. Like that's pretty impressive. Why did they back out? And how did you connect with these people that just came in 2 weeks? Like, was this a prior relationship that you had?
the reason for the reason for the back out was they said, interest rates have just constantly gone up this past year. So, um, the reason we were told is that they were no longer doing commercial loans for real estate.
Oh, wow.
So across the board. So no, if they had any other prior commitments, they were canceling everything, all those. Yeah. So a lot of people, depending on who was out there, is not going to get money from those people. Um, the new lender was a local lender, so the one of the sponsors lives in the area, and who ends up being part of a brokerage for real estate. So he had a prior relationship with them, and that's what really drove it home for us. We got really lucky in that regards because we had gotten, we had talked with them previously about getting the lending from them, but they just the KPs chose to go the different route, but they were definitely willing when the time was right, and having all of our ducks in a row on the paperwork really helped too. We have a great
Yeah.
financial team on the project.
Wow, man, that's incredible. That's going to be a great story to share for many days to come. Like that's awesome. I couldn't imagine. I'm sure you guys felt it. That's a super stressful situation, especially with you already being involved. Did y'all have any extensions built into the agreement, or were we kind of already at the end of that already, or what did that look like?
We were at the last extension.
Yeah.
We were literally putting this together at the 11th hour.
Oh man.
It was less than a week before closing, when this was transpiring. So the last 2 weeks before closing, before the closing day, and it was just all hands on deck and just full steam ahead. And what are we going to do to get it done?
Wow. That's incredible, man. You got to send them a gift basket or something like that. That's a great lender. So let's get. Oh, go ahead, Jada.
I did want to ask, so how are you implementing your specialty in construction into this multifamily project?
Good question.
It's a lot with the improvements that we had set on the CapEx, as well as general improvements, because there were things that were missing as far as amenities were concerned. So there's a small drainage issue between two of the buildings. So that, my knowledge in there, is going to come into play, catching the little things that, can turn into big things, whether it's part of the roofing, part of the siding, windows indoors, stuff like that, that is really coming into play to put those things on the radar for when we're planning on the maintenance on the property. But the amenities that we've added, there was no dog park. And there's probably 50% of the residents have pets. So that was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Get in a dog park. They had a small grill area, which we've improved on. So we're going to be putting up a shelter over it so that there's actually a more centralized family area. Considering their students, recreation's great. We have a on-site workout facility, a gym on site, but it was nothing else. So we are actually putting in a basketball court as well. We're taking part of the parking lot and putting in a basketball court.
Fun.
So just simple things.
So let me ask you this, Daniel, because I think a lot of people get a lot of value from this question. None of those things that you mentioned make money, right? Not a single, at least none of the ones I heard make you money right away. So why would you spend the money to go add all these amenities and everything that's not going to produce you money directly? What is the thought process behind that? And I think a lot of people get a lot of value from that.
Yeah, no, you're right. Do they add to the bottom line? No. Can you really add money to the rent for them? No, definitely not. So they are definitely not really revenue generating. But when you're looking for a place to live, what are the things that you look for? What would make it home for you? Well, if I have a pet, I want it, especially a dog, curbing your dog is hard. You want them to have a place to run, other than just your apartment. So that dog park can be crucial, especially if you have to take them a mile or two away. It's like, this is right here. I don't have to, I can, but it's right here. It's great. So same thing with, keeping that community feel with that, with the grill area, with the basketball court, those amenities, those are things that add value there. So it's like they add value to me, at least. So they may not do it at the bottom line, but it can, that sense of community. And one of the other things is now tenant retention.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
So
yeah,
before. Yeah, you have to be able to keep your tenants. So you want to attract them, How do you do that? Make it home. How do you keep them? Make sure it stays feeling like home. So
Man, you answered that perfectly. There couldn't have been any better answer to that question. So thank you for that. I know a lot of people get, because I've been asked that question multiple times. It's like, well, what's the point of doing it? Like, why would I do that? Right. And that's exactly why, right? It's not going to produce you direct results, but it's going to bring you more people into the sphere of what you're doing there, and it's going to keep them around. So really, really good answer there. I love it. I see some more message. Go
I
ahead,
just
Jada.
want to add in there as well, like that's something that's super important to me, to be able to be in this field, not just for myself. It's to help serve others. And it's difficult, or at least when I first joined, I mean, it was difficult because I was around a lot of wholesalers, and not that whole awful, but just the people that I was around were really, let's try to get as much as we can out of these sellers or out of this home and whatever. And not that it was like necessarily trying to lowball everybody, or put, convince sellers that this is their only option, but it was just not very focused on uh how can I also serve. So when I joined sub 2 with Pace Morby, and once he said, I can also help people get out of foreclosure, that was something that struck me as, helpful. And that was where I was like, all right, this is the mentorship that I'm going with. And I feel like that's kind of exactly what you do as well. Like, you're like, okay, this seems like a really cool project. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, I can add value to the tenants, or oh, I can add value to the investors or the sellers. Perfect. Yeah, let's do it. If everybody can start winning, I'm all on board. I love that. So thank you.
Isn't Jada amazing, guys? Like, everybody needs a Jada on their team. Like, she's awesome. All
yeah,
right.
no, she is amazing.
So
I wish she was on my team.
I'm gonna have to fight you for it. I can't lie, Daniel. So let's continue, right? Let's continue. So you were brought in on this deal from your prior experience, and you were able to kind of plug and play with some of your skill sets. How would you recommend that other people kind of capitalize on their skill sets? What are some of those situations or maybe tips and tricks that you can think of where people might be able to come do something similar with their particular skill sets?
The way I would put it is that number one, everybody should know how to underwrite. You don't have to be the best underwriter, but you need to understand it. From there, that's where everybody kind of seems to focus. Underwrite, underwrite, underwrite. But that's where I think a lot of people can make a mistake, because if they're not truly financially inclined, like for me, I'm an estimator. I deal with numbers all day long. So I'm finishing up projects that are $100,000. I'm working on one that's 400, and I have a return one that's going to be 17 million. And these are brand new projects. So I'm dealing with numbers all across the board in all different types of scopes. So underwriting comes really easy to me. I can underwrite most projects in, you give me the numbers, I can bang it out probably half an hour or 15 minutes and tell you if we got a good deal or not. But once I get on the number side, but on the construction side, that's where, I am multifaceted, is that I'm going to walk a property and I'm going to go, there's either going to be a lot of heavy lifting, or it's going to be okay, or this is a cakewalk too. So I can play both of those roles, where this is where the self-improvement comes in. Do you know yourself? Where don't try to be something you're not. You can always work for it, and that's fine, but don't try to do it from day one. Work on what your strengths are, what your passions are, because there's multiple things in multifamily on the operator side that you can do. So take what is yours and then find the people that do the other things, and have those relationships and start those relationships, because that's how teams are formed. That's how you get into finding those people, that work well together. And that's because if you can't do something, you need somebody else to do it. So your strength is somebody else's weakness. Find that weakness and help somebody there. That's where all the help comes in. Everybody's helping everybody. You don't have to be, because if you try to be the star in all of them, all you're going to be is falling.
And the question I have, kind of stemming from you saying, you want to be a little more knowledge, or everybody should be a little more knowledgeable on some of the numbers. Now, speaking as somebody who is kind of knowledgeable, and I'm definitely still trying to work on learning a little bit more about that. How did you build those relationships? Like with what you said you had brought some of the KPs to your project. How much of that relationship when you built it, how much was or how so essentially the question is, how much did you guys talk about numbers? Because as somebody who doesn't really know numbers too much, I get a little bit intimidated when I'm trying to build a relationship with people and I don't know, okay, like, should I know what IRR is? Should I know what cash on cash is? And obviously I do, or I have somewhat of a knowledge, but it just worries me know how much of that I should up for. I should be talking about with these people.
The best way to put it is be authentic when you're with them. It's almost one of my new mantras almost. Because then it goes back a long way for me, because growing up, I saw a lot of people being fake, just trying to fit in. So everybody's being fake and whatever, and this and that, and doing things that I know that they don't know how to do. And they're just trying to, there is a time to do the fake it till you make it. But that's a mindset, really. That's really a mindset where be confident in yourself is the fake it before till you make it. But you got to be authentic, and especially with yourself, to understand where you're at and what level you're at. And then from there, and to get closer to answering the question, ask questions. It's all about the communication. So give in information, but if you're not sure, ask. Because guess what? The person across from you is going to be more impressed with you asking a question than sitting there making an assumption and then, looking like you got your foot in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really that. It's the back and forth. You don't understand it, ask the question. If you're more of the expert on it in the conversation, be confident in what you're saying. The other end of it is, if you're wrong, don't be afraid to say so. We're all human. We're never going to be perfect. There's no other reason for it other than that. What, pride, ego? They don't belong. You could be prideful, but but also take pride in yourself, that you're not flawless.
That's a good point. Dang.
That was well put, man. You're just killing it with the answers today, man.
So
Doing some fire answers. And for the audience, guys, this is the time where if anybody has any questions, please raise your hand. We'll get you up here. I mean, that's the perfect segue into asking the questions. Like this is the time. Anything that we've covered, right? How did he get the deal? Multifamily in general, construction. I mean, if you don't know anything about construction like me, this is probably like the perfect time to just ask your questions. No consulting fees or anything like that. So this is the moment for real. If we don't have any questions, then you're just gonna have to listen to me and Jada keep asking questions for the next 10 minutes or so. Look at that. We got our first one. Let me get you up here. And if you don't have your video on, I can't bring you on stage. And then we don't know who you are when we meet you at the next event. So just keep that in mind as well.
Put your video if you can.
I got you unmuted. I'm probably going to butcher your name, but it looks like Shifra. Did I say that right?
Oh, looks, there we go. Awesome.
I love it.
You're unmuted. Go ahead.
You can see me. You say I gotta put the video on.
We can see you. We can see you. We can hear you.
Yay!
I love
Well,
it.
the lighting is terrible here, but anyway. So anyway, I just had a question about construction because I don't know much about construction, but I have an idea how it works because I had a friend in construction years ago, and my mother was in land. So exactly how do you get started if you want to be a builder, if you want to get in construction to build buildings, homes, whatever?
I love it. And just for clarity, I suck at construction. Is not my area of expertise. So I'm right there with you. Go ahead, Daniel.
Well, just like in multifamily, there's a lot of different avenues you can take. You know, if you want to be a developer, or if you want to actually be a builder, or if you want to be a subcontractor. So it really, doing research would be your best start. Um, there's a lot of books out there. There's a lot of people that are willing to teach as well. So, um, I would also say start small. You know, pick a trade, whether it's carpentry or plumbing or concrete, electrical, and learn something about it, and then move on. So go slow, pick something that now are you actually looking to get into contracting, or what are you looking to do? I could probably guide you a little better that way.
Here.
Oh, hang on. I got you. You're unmuted. We are unmuting you there. There you go.
Sorry, I think I'm just more so into land. I like vacant land and
like doing development. Is that kind
yes,
of
yes.
Okay. There you go.
Okay.
Class A properties, yes.
As far as that's concerned, I've never been a developer. So honestly, I don't have an answer for you on that one. I know someone that is a developer, and you know, if you get JD your contact information, I can reach out to you after, and I can put you in contact on how they got into developing. But I don't have those answers for you. You know, when you purchase land, there's a lot you have to do with it, because you have to make it so on a civil level with the township or the county or whoever, you have to make it and do things to get it ready to build on, just if you buy land direct. So if it's clear land. So there's more to do than just buy land and then build on it.
Yeah, and we actually we had another guest on that was a developer, and he still is. He's got 40 plus years of experience. We have a video on that, and he actually broke down all the steps that you can do. So let me find that video real quick, and I'll put it in the side chat. We're a little behind on getting everything uploaded to YouTube, so work in progress. We're not perfect. We're human, guys. We're human. Don't be mad at us. We're busy constantly, but let me get you that link. I'll send it to you. The guy's name is Kerry Clark. I don't know what market you are in, but he's in the DFW market. So I think that'd be a really good one to check out there. And go ahead, Jada.
You guys I put it in the Zoom chat as well. But if you guys aren't in there already, feel free to join our Facebook page, because that's where you'll find, you know, me, Joseph, Daniel. If you're wondering, oh my gosh, how can I reach out to you guys? Just, you know, it's in the group chat. And then since this is streaming, go onto Multifamily $1 Million Upside Facebook group, and, you know, just feel free to join. We're here to provide resources and excellent people like Daniel and all of our other guest speakers. So really, we're here for you. Reach out to us.
Yeah. And I just put the link right there in the chat. So if you want to check that one out, that'll be a good one for you. If development is the path you want to go, that would be a solid one for you. And most of that doesn't actually deal with the actual building of it, like what Daniel's talking about. He comes from like the construction aspect, where he's actually a little bit more hands-on and managing the crews and dealing with everything. Once you're doing the development, it's more of a higher level. You're kind of like the puppet master controlling the entire project, not just the specific building of it. You're controlling the entire thing. So that goes to the building, it goes to the permitting, it goes to the planning, it goes to managing all the managers of the team. So there's just a lot more involved once you're doing all of that. I don't know anything about it. I just know I've got the who, not the how.
Mhm.
I saw one other person with their hand up, but I don't know who that was. I think it was either Alice or Nagar. But oh, there it was. There we go. Let's get you up here, Alice.
Hi guys, great interview. Very informative. I do have a question for Daniel. When you go to when you're analyzing a property, like you're in construction, so what do you look for? Like maybe top 5 quick things that you look for when you go to a multifamily? Oh, sorry, I had to change my video. I'm in the car. Um, so, and this is my dog. He's with me in the car.
Hello.
Coco Loco. So I'm curious about that. And also, do you send somebody to go and inspect the property? Like once you're under contract, you're doing your due diligence. Do you accompany that person because you are knowledgeable in construction? Or do you then look at the list of whatever it is they sent you, like a home inspection, I guess, right?
Yeah, no, completely understand the question, and it's actually a very good one.
Yeah.
As far being with the construction background, I'm going to look at the major overall function of the property, the structure, the real capex items that can be your biggest ticket items when it comes to doing a multifamily project. Because HVA systems, on a whole, depending on the type of system that's there, can be very expensive depending on the age, depending on how it's been maintained. Same thing with the roofs on building or buildings. What type of roof is it? So I'm going to look at that first, and then narrow it down to what I'm looking at inside the actual apartment. But I will definitely have a paid inspector come onto the property, because that's what that covers us as an operator, because I'm not going to catch everything, but I'm going to pay someone to come out here to make sure that we're covered. So we're going to pay a roofing, it's somebody that's in roofing to come out and inspect the roof, somebody that's have a plumber come out and check um all the lines, whether the water lines, the sewer lines, have someone come out on the HVAC systems, have them get all checked. So we will pay people to do that. And you should pay someone to do that, even if you have experience like I do, or someone that's been doing this even longer than I do. I know people that have been doing this for over 20 years that still have paid inspectors come on site because they need to. It just covers you. It's part of your due diligence.
So you'll have an inspector for plumbing, one for electricity, one for roofing, one for HVAC. Is there
Yep.
anything else? Are there any other specialties that I wouldn't think of?
Definitely plum.
No, those are usually the top tier ones that you're going to use. Everything else can, a structural, somebody to check the structure, making sure, if there's glaring red flag cracks and things in the foundations, or if it has a brick facade, if there's a lot of repairs that have been done, you definitely going to want to have someone structural come in and look at it, because you can have, especially the age of the property can really, really hide some sins.
So you said you put in a basketball court. So the maintenance on that, is that like every 5 years you have to redo the court surface, or with good maintenance, proper maintenance, would that be longer term, like a 10-year? And if so, how much is it like every year to maintain, or is that every 6 months?
No, it's really every couple of years. It's going to be, this is an outside basketball court. It's asphalt.
Okay.
So we've actually added the basketball hoop and doing the line striping. The line striping is going to hold up for years. So there's not really a lot of maintenance on that side of it because the asphalt's going to hold up. There's going to be no parking on it. Nobody should be driving on it. So it's really going to be just, uh, if you can call it normal wear and tear, it'll just be normal wear and tear. And then, every couple of years restripe it as necessary, which it can be very inexpensive, under $500.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Yeah, and that is essentially all the time we have for questions. Alice, you're always asking really good questions, so I do appreciate that. Thank you for coming on and asking that. Daniel, I want to give you the opportunity for any last minute, I call it shameless plug. So whatever you've got, whatever you're doing, like this is the time. Let us all know, how can we connect with you? What is the best way to reach out, and what are the things you've got going on?
Best way to reach out is my email, which actually, let me just put it in the chat.
Thank you for that as well. Super appreciate you being open enough to share that.
Yep, no, I should have thought of it earlier. Bad me. But my email is the best way to get a hold of me because then I can get back in touch with you, have a better contact. But as far as things going on right now, I've also with being in the finance end, being an estimator, being in that end, I'm actually also working with financial services. So anybody that's looking to get in, and if you're not happy with someone that you're investing with or just starting, I'll answer any questions I can or help point you in directions. So if Jada, Joseph, talk with them, invest with them too. Because they're going to have different deals that I don't, and that deal might be better for you than what I have. So talk with all of us. I'd love to get you involved in the projects I have. I don't have anything that's up right now that we're going to go under contract with but as everybody says, always be raising. So I'd love to talk with you and really find out what your goals are, is going to be the end of what I want to do. And make sure that we mesh. So that's my shameless plug on that end. Come talk to me so that we can help you get further along, get the foundations for getting you invested in real estate. And like I said, I'm also doing financial services. So if you're doing fix and flips, or if you're doing even larger multifamilies and you're looking for lending, I can help you out there too. I have relationships with lenders that I can get you pointed and help get you the financing. So it's just other things that I do. I'm not going to do it all, but I'll do what I can.
I love that. I love that. So his email's in the chat, guys. Go get it right there. It's Daniel at, man, I'm going to butcher your name. It's Belergian.
That's actually one of the closest to butchers that I've had.
Yeah,
the BelargianGroup.com.
I like it.
At the BelargianGroup.com. Yeah, it still doesn't flow right, but go connect with him, guys. Awesome guy. Super happy to have you on, man. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much for